Good morning. Let's start the daily current affairs discussion. First topic that we'll take is about the petition in the Supreme Court from the government side around same-sex marriage. Fine. Because the central government is expressing its view against this, so the matter is to be taken up by a five-judge Supreme Court bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, on 18th April, scheduled to hear a series of petitions seeking legal recognition of same-sex marriage. Fine. What? What they will issue? Legal recognition of same-sex marriage, even as a host of statutory organizations, religious bodies, and NGO have rose to court seeking opportunity to be heard. So many have come to the court to hear their point of view, either for or against the issue of same-sex marriage. Their submission touch upon various issues from the definition of marriage to the psychological impact growing up with two men or two women as parents would have on the children. Because in the same-sex marriage, either two men will be the parents or two women will be the parents in place of one man and one woman. Normally, a child in normal situation has the parent consisting of one male and one female. She the father, she the mother. But in case of same-sex marriage, the child will have either two male or two female as parent. While some have cautioned judges that Indian society is not ready to accept same-sex marriage, others have linked it to sexual liberation movement in Western countries. Which movement? Sexual liberation movement, because in more than 30 countries around the world, same-sex marriage has been made legalized. So they are citing the example of such cases around the world where in those countries this has been accepted, and they justify if it has been accepted there and running well, then why it should not be in India. That is their point of view. Okay. Okay. So the petitioner argued that non-recognition of same-sex marriage amounted to discrimination that struck at the root of dignity and self-fulfillment of the LGBTQIA plus couples, and remained the quote that the LGBTQ citizens form 7 to 8% of the population of the country. This LGBTQ community consists of 7 to 8% of Indian population, and the present marriage system is not recognizing their rights and is discrimination against them. The petitioner point out that the legal protection available in about 15 legislations guaranteeing the right of wages, gratuity, adoption, surrogacy, etc. are not available to the LGBTQ community. Right, similar wage for male and female, gratuity, adoption in case of childless couples, surrogacy, they are not which are available to normal couple in India, is not available to the LGBTQ community in India. So it is a discrimination against them. In a related vein, according to Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights, that same-sex couples could make equally good parents as heterosexual parents. By depriving legal status to homosexual marriages, the state is denying the legal security of dual parenthood and guardianship of the child. So what? Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights, so it is in favor of the same-sex marriage. So it is justifying that this is possible and they can be presented as better guardians or better parents. Fine. If like the heterosexual, so this same-sex parent can also be good parents. Okay. Since Netherlands legalized some same-sex marriage in 2000, over 34 countries have legalized same-sex marriage either through legislation or through court decision. So the first country to legalize is Netherlands, and after Netherlands, so around 34 countries they have legalized same-sex marriage. Okay, so if this is possible in foreign countries, they are justifying why this is not possible in India, why they should not get this right in India. Okay, so at present, more than 50 countries allow same-sex couple to legally adopt children. A 2020 study that academic results of children raised by same-sex parents from birth outperform children with heterosexual parents. Even in case of education, all providing education or guiding the people in education. So it has been reported that the parents from the same sex, their children perform well in comparison to the children raised by the heterosexual parents. Okay, this is what. Okay, the stand of the government. According to Union government, the idea of same-sex marriage is merely an urban elitist view. The judicial creation of a new social institution like same-sex marriage cannot be claimed as a matter of right. The parliament and not the court that have to decide on same-sex marriage, which is a threat to the holy union of marriage between a biological man and a woman in India. This is Government of India's stand. Government of India justifies that marriage is should be between a biological man and a biological woman. Okay. The state of Madhya Pradesh had also sought to intervene in the case, saying it was a necessary stakeholder. It said the legal recognition of same-sex marriage would seriously affect the interest of the residents of Madhya Pradesh. Additionally, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, unlike its Delhi counterpart, argued that same-sex marriage would violate the provisions of the Juvenile Justice Act. The Juvenile Justice Act 2015 prohibits a single man, let alone two men, from adopting a girl child. Okay, because so this may be there may be sexual abuse of the child. The National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, highlighted a study by the Catholic University of America, which said that the emotional problems suffered by children of same-sex couple are twice more than of children living with heterogeneous parents. It said a proper legislative system need to be adopted regarding same-sex couples. Religious body and NGO are what they argue. The Sri Sanatan Dharma Pratinidhi Sabha opined that the concept of same-sex marriage is catastrophic and it would have a pernicious effect on Indian culture and society. The body quotes the Veda saying, those who have wives truly have a family life. Those who have wives can be happy. Those who have wives can have a full life. It refers to the stanza from the Manusmriti that state to be mother were women created and to be father men. So to be a mother, God has created women, and to be a father, God has created men. Okay, so the father and the mother should not belong to the same sex but also to different biological sex. So the marriage is a union between biological men and a biological woman. The Jamaat Ulama-e-Hind also oppose same-sex marriage by stating that marriage between opposite sexes is like the basic feature of marriage. Islam's prohibition of homosexuality has been categorical from the dawn of religion of Islam itself. LGBTQ plus movement dates back to the Western sexual liberation movement. Similarly, the Telangana Makarji Shia Ulema Council also claimed that persons raised by same-sex couple are much more likely to suffer from depression, low academic achievement, unemployment, and are more likely to smoke marijuana, etc. It said that the global north, religion have largely ceased to be a source of law and plays very little role in public life. On the other hand, religion play an instrumental role in shaping personal law along with social norm and family ties in India. So that is why all these factors are to be taken into consideration before allowing same-sex marriage. Okay, because the judiciary is in favor of this and the government of India is against this. But any law to be made in India, it should be by the parliament, not by any judicial imposition. Fine. So, additionally, the Akhil Bharatiya Sant Samiti said to keep husband and wife together is the law of nature. Kanyadan and Saptapadi, okay, Saptapadi have basic importance in Hindu marriage. The reiterated that same-sex marriage is totally unnatural. Bringing in different angle, the Kanchan Foundation has submitted that deep-seated stereotype and mental barriers that have been constructed over centuries cannot be dismantled by a mere judicial ruling. It said that Indian society requires more time to be sensitized in order to accept same-sex unions and understand the impact on society. The call for justice NGO argued that marriage grew from natural law and the millennia-old institutions of marriage between a man and a woman recognized across the world. Any amendment in the institution of marriage must flow from popular will as expressed through the legislature because legislature representing the people should be the final body to legislate on this. It should not be any judicial pronouncement which will decide whether this should be permitted or not. Okay, if this is done through the judicial order, it may not be that well accepted in the society. Fine. What are the argument in favor of same-sex marriage? Equal rights and protection under the law. All individuals, regardless of the sexual orientation, have the right to marry and form a family. Okay, form a family, so they justify. So two men or two women can also form a family. Okay, as per their justification. Then, same-sex couples should have the same legal rights and protections as opposite-sex couples. They justify it. Non-recognition of same-sex marriage amounted to discrimination that struck at the root of the dignity and self-fulfillment of the LGBTQ couples. Strengthening family and communities. Marriage provides social and economic benefit to couples and their families. Allowing same-sex couple to marry strengthens families and community by promoting stability and security. Right. Global acceptance, same-sex marriage is legal in many countries around the world, and denying this right to individual in a democratic society goes against the global principle. So, because around 34 countries in the world have accepted same-sex marriage, so India being the largest democracy, okay. So, when 7 to 8% of the people of the country belong to this LGBTQ community, so they should be getting their due right, okay, like okay, okay. So, same-sex marriage is legal in many countries around the world, and denying this right to individual in democratic society goes against the global principles. In 133 countries, homosexuality is decriminalized, but only 32 of them same-sex marriage is illegal. Country legalize same-sex marriage. Okay, so 30. So although in 133 countries homosexuality has been decriminalized, but only in 32 to 34 countries same-sex marriage has been accepted. Okay, so this is what where it has been accepted. Netherlands were the first country to allow same-sex marriage in 2001. 33 other countries around the world have followed the suit, with Chile, Switzerland being the latest to bring in such law. Australia, okay, this is the new one. So Canada, all these, UK, and Norway, Iceland, Sweden, almost all Western countries. Okay, very few country in the Eastern region have accepted this. This is called a developed country syndrome. Okay. Going forward, cultural sensitivity. India is a culturally diverse country with different religious and societal values. Any legislative or judicial decisions on same-sex marriage must consider the cultural sensitivity of different communities, while also okay. So social acceptance of education. Any legislative or judicial decisions on same-sex marriage must consider the cultural sensitivities of different communities, while also ensuring that the fundamental rights of individual are protected. Social acceptance and education. India still has a long way to go in terms of social acceptance of the LGBTQ community. Education and awareness campaigns should be developed to promote acceptance and understanding of heterosexuality, then same-sex marriage should be considered on table. International obligations. India is a signatory to various international human rights treaties and conventions which require it to protect the rights of all individuals, including the LGBTQ community. As many other countries such as Canada, the United States, Australia have recognized same-sex marriage, it is imperative that India legalize it to ensure equal rights and opportunity for all individuals regardless of their sexual orientation. Fine. That is what justification for and against. Okay. But ultimately, the central government is against this. So this has been put before the judiciary, highest judiciary. A lot more depends upon the lot more depend on the judgment that the judiciary is going to give on this particular matter. Let's see. Okay, so how far? So this judgment is coming in whose favor, and what is the government steps after judgment comes out? So the whole issue can be made very clear after the judgment by the Supreme Court in this particular case. Fine. Then the next topic is environmental topic. Okay. So the topic is concerned to okay. So how coastal species are living on plastic debris in the ocean. Okay. So you see more and more plastics are being released to the ocean, and the coastal species who are living in the water body, so they are living with the plastic which is unknown to them. The Anthropocene epoch. This is the name some scientists have proposed for a new period in history characterized by influence of one species on the planet's geology, ecosystem, and even its fate, none other than the Homo sapien or the man. The North Pacific subtropical gyre have a long east-west strip where most of the debris of plastics in this current are collected over the years. The eastern part of this is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is for one estimate 1.6 million square kilometer big and more than 50 years old. It contains an estimated 45,000 to 129,000 metric tons of plastics, predominantly in the form of microplastics. Mass-wise, heavier, more visible objects than have not yet broken down into smaller particles accounted for 92% of the plastics in 2018. So, which has been released to the ocean. Okay. And the creatures living contribution to the tsunami. The tsunami of the Japan coast in 2011 contributed to the debris in this garbage patch. Until the last 2017, researchers have found debris washing ashore on the west coast of North America containing life forms originally found in Japan. Researchers reported that 98% of the debris item has invertebrate organism. They also found that pelagic species of the open ocean, are present on 94.3% of them, and coastal species of 70.5%. That is, organisms found on coasts are getting by one small floating islands of garbage to humans out of the Pacific Ocean. The number of coastal species such as the arthropods, the mollusks identified rafting on plastic was over three times greater than that of pelagic species that normally live in the open ocean. In all, they found organisms belonging to 46 taxa. of taxa, while 37 of them were coastal, the rest are pelagic, were living with the plastics. Pelagic means relating to or living in area of sea away from the land. Okay, this is what they are living. Garbage batch. The garbages. So these are all garbage. Okay, and the creatures, the oceanic creatures living in this area are also living with this garbage stock. Among the coastal and pelagic organisms, crustaceans were the most common. Nearly all taxa were of Northwest Pacific origin, including Japan. The relevance of the finding: a new community. The introduction of a vast sea of relatively permanent anthropogenic raft since the 1950s have given rise to a new kind of standing coastal community in the open ocean. Researchers have named it as the Neopelagic community. A new settlement, while coastal species have been found on human-made objects in the open ocean before, they were always considered to have been misplaced from their intended habitats. The neopelagic community, on the other hand, is not misplaced but leave one plastic item in the garbage patch, including reproducing their even in the plastic debris. They have started to adapt and even okay. Bonding of plastic with nature. Polyethylene films had chemically bonded with rocks in China. Anthropocunas in Brazil, sedimentary rock embedded with plastic carrings. The plasticometry of Hawaii, with sediment plus organic debris plus basaltic lava plus melted plastic. So, new forms have been created by the addition of plastic with them. Also, although they have started because it became a part of their life, they started to adjust with the plastics which are chemicals. Okay, Okay, so National Panchayat Award, the next topic. The President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, presented the National Panchayat Awards and inaugurated the National Conference on Incentivization of Panchayat in the New Delhi. The Ministry of Panchayat Raj is celebrating National Panchayat Awards week from 17th to 21st April 2023 as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav 2.0 leading up to National Panchayat Raj Divas on 24th April 2023. In order to commemorate this occasion in a meaningful manner and to align with the AKM Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav 2.0 guidelines of taking a whole of society and whole of government approach, the Minister of Panchayat Raj has developed a series of thematic conferences centered around the theme पंचायतों की संकल्पों की सिद्धि की उत्सव to increase the reach of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav 2.0 and positively impact the lives of all Indians. About the award, the National Panchayat Award honors the best performing panchayat local government bodies across the country by assessing their performance in attaining the sustainable development goal. The awards were first instituted in 2011 have, and have since been held every year. Okay, so recognizing the contribution of panchayats in achieving the sustainable development goal set by the United Nations General Assembly. Okay. The awardee panchayat under various category of National Panchayat Award, namely Dindal Upadhyay Panchayat Satat Vikas Puraskar for the performance under the individual SDG themes, Nanaji Deshmukh Sabbotam Panchayat Satat Vikas Puraskar for the aggregate performance under the all nine legal SDG themes and green initiative social categories, ग्राम ऊर्जा स्वराज विशेष पंचायत पुरस्कार, कार्बन न्यूट्रल विशेष पंचायत पुरस्कार were felicitated by the dignitary and the award ceremony was transferred digitally to the awardee panchayat on this occasion, and the panchayat from Ganjam district Odisha were recognized for their role in this summit or this conference, or this award ceremony. Other developments handled by the ministry, the youngest panchayat in Jammu Kashmir Union Territory have made commendable efforts towards the goal of achieving carbon neutrality by the year 2030. Under the Swamitwa scheme, drone survey have been completed in more than 3.5 lakhs villages, whereas 6.5 lakh villages are still there. Is 95% of the 6.62 lakh villages have been provided with a Bhu Aadhaar under unique land parcel identification number project, a mobile application for the SG Nirnaya National Initiative for the Rural India to navigate, innovate and resolve panchayat decisions was launched by the Ministry of Panchayat Raj, a significant step towards realizing the vision of minimum government, maximum governance at the grassroots level, and is expected to accelerate the pace of rural transformation to achieve the vision of Gram Swaraj laid down by Mahatma Gandhi. Fine. Okay. The next topic is a topic for the preliminary in space, Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. Okay. The Jitendra Singh minister, while addressing the G20 meeting, said that a nodal entity called the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center in space has been created towards promoting and authorizing private industry participation in the space domain. So earlier ISRO was the nodal agency in space, and recently government decided to Okay, so to facilitate private sector participation, the government has created the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center in Space in June 2020, the single window independent nodal agency. Okay, the single window independent nodal agency. Uh, okay, which functions as an autonomous agency in Department of Space. Established as a single window agency for all space sector activity of private entities in space plays an important role in boosting the private space sector economy in India. In space is responsible to promote, enable, authorize and supervise various space activities of the non-governmental entities that includes among others the building of launch vehicles and satellite and providing space-based services, sharing of space infrastructure and premises under the control of the Department of Space or ISRO and establishment of new space infrastructure and facilities. It is meant to act as the agency to promote and hold and authorize private sector activities in the sector besides enabling sharing of technical facility and expertise from ISRO, because ISRO has the monopoly in space domain since the space activity of India started 50 years back. Okay, but government realized private participation in space is the emerging area. With the success of the SpaceX in USA, so more and more country allowed private sector participation in space, and following that government of India has allowed private sector participation in space because Indian private sector is much keenly interested to join the space domain, and it will be a noble initiative by the government by allowing this in space creation. So more and more investment, participation, expertise can be available in the space domain from the private sector's contribution. It is meant to act as agency to promote, handhold, and authorize private sector activities in the sector, besides enabling share of technical facility and expertise from ISRO. Fine. In Space has signed MOU 13 such startup and could soon sign with 4 more. In Space plan to open incubation center in India, which could help startup across access fund and legal advices. Space industry in India. India's space program is one of the most well developed in the world and is driven by a state-owned agency, the Indian Space Research Organization or ISRO, with headquartered Bengaluru, Antriksh Bhavan in Bengaluru. The global space industry in 2021 was valued at $469 billion, set to grow to 1 trillion by 2040. But India shares only 2% at only 10 billion. Currently, India constitutes 3% of global space economy. They expected to enhance its share to more than 10% by 2030. Okay, and at a combined annual growth rate of 48% CAGR combined annual growth rate. In the global space market, rocket and satellite launch services, an area in which ISRO specializes, amount to only 5% share. This segment requires robust infrastructure and heavy investment. Satellite-based services and ground-based systems accounting for remaining 95%, which India has not explored right now. The private sector participation will explore the ground-based satellite-based services and ground-based systems to make the facility more acceptable, more widely circulated, and more revenue generating. At present, the government drives a certain level of participation in the Indian private sector, primarily in the rocket and satellite launch service segment, with the first rocket called the Bikram rocket was launched recently. Okay, by the Skyroot company of a private company in India. So company name is Skyroot. Okay, and the Vikrama S rocket was tested successfully. However, enhanced private sector participation will be necessary to penetrate satellite-based service and ground-based system segments. Okay, so with the participation of the private sector in the space domain, so more development are going to be witnessed in the Indian space domain in and the times to come. It has been realized. And realizing this, the government is allowing more and more private sector participation in the domain of space. Okay, and the first such private sector called the Skyroot, a private space company, was successfully able to launch the Vikrama-S rocket using the ISRO launch station at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. Fine. Sorry, it was launched from the Vikrama Sarabhai Space Center at Equatorial Thumba. Okay, Trivandrum. Okay. The Global Buddhist Summit, PM Sri Narendra Modi will inaugurate the first Global Buddhist Summit on 20th April in New Delhi. The Minister of Culture, in collaboration with the grantee body International Buddhist Confederation, will be hosting the Global Buddhist Summit on 20th and 21st of April. Fine. For the first time, prominent Buddhist monk from various countries will visit India and take part in the summit. In the summit, discussions will be held on how to deal with contemporary challenges with the help of Buddhist philosophy and thought. This global summit will mark the significance and importance of India and Buddhism, and Buddhism was born in India. The theme of the two-day Global Buddhist Summit is a response to contemporary challenges, philosophy to praxis. The discussion will fall under the following four themes: Buddha, Dhamma, and peace; Buddha, Dhamma, environmental crisis, health and sustainability; preservation of Nalanda Buddhist tradition; Buddha, Dhamma, pilgrimage, living heritage and Buddha relics, a resilient foundation to India's century-old cultural link to country in South, Southeast, and East Asia. The prime vision of this summit is to look into the teaching of the Sankyamuni Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha that have been continuously enriched over the century with the practice of Buddha Dharma. Okay, as it was born in India and right now spread around the world, this provides a good scope for India to find its root. Okay, the aim is to set up a forum for the lay Buddhist scholars and Dharma masters. It will also delve into Buddha's message for peace, compassion, and harmony with the objective of working towards universal peace and harmony in accordance with the core value of Dharma and produce a document for further academic research. Studies to study its viability for use as a tool for the conduct of international relations on the global stage. The Ministry of Culture, along with the International Buddhist Council, recently held a successful international meet of experts from the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO nations on shared Buddhist heritage in order to re-establish trans-cultural link, seek out commonalities between Buddhist art and Central Asia, and art style, archaeological sites and antiquity in various museums collected of the collections of the SCO countries. SCO has 9 member countries. The Global Buddhist Summit 2023 is a similar effort towards engaging the global Buddhist Dharma leaders and scholars on matters of Buddhist and universal concern and to come up with policy inputs to address them collectively. Okay, then coming to the question, just read the question. Okay. So the question is, the cooperative sector has played a significant role in India's economic development, particularly in agriculture and rural sector. What is the potential of the cooperative in promoting inclusive growth and social welfare? What are the challenges in creating sustainable and transparent cooperative system? You know that cooperative sector is very important in India's rural growth. Okay, because what is not uh, made available to the local people from the banks, the cooperative is able to fulfill that need. Okay. Okay. According to ILO, a cooperative is an autonomous association of person united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. Cooperative or autonomous organizations formed by individuals who voluntarily come together to meet their common economic, social, and cultural aims and aspirations. Cooperative operate on the principle of democratic control and are owned and managed by their members who share the benefit of risk of their activities. The potential of cooperatives in promoting inclusive growth and social welfare is significant and can be seen in the following ways. What the cooperative do in the country. Employment generation. Cooperative can create employment opportunity in area where traditional employment opportunity are limited. Cooperative provide job for the members and their families and often employ people from disadvantaged community, women and youth. Okay, they are able to get employment in the through the cooperative initiative. Okay. Poverty reduction. Cooperative can contribute to poverty reduction by providing members with access to credit, training and other resources that enable them to start or expand their own business. Cooperative can also provide affordable goods and services to their members such as healthcare, housing and education. Social welfare. Cooperative promotes social welfare by providing members with a sense of community and belonging. Members work together to achieve common goals and share the benefits of their collective efforts. Cooperative also promotes social responsibility by supporting community development projects and by practicing ethical and sustainable business practices. Then financial inclusion. Cooperative can provide financial services to people who are excluded from the formal banking system. Cooperative offer a range of financial services including savings, loans and insurance that enable members to meet their financial needs and build assets over time. Empowerment. Cooperative empower member by giving them a voice in decision making and by promoting democratic control. Members have equal voting rights and participate in the management of the cooperative, which enhances their leadership skills and promotes civic engagement. Creating a sustainable and transparent cooperative system in India faces several challenges, including weak regulatory framework. The regulatory framework for cooperatives in India is weak and outdated. This makes it difficult to monitor and enforce compliance with regulations and leaves room for fraud and mismanagement. Lack of transparency. Many cooperatives in India suffer from a lack of transparency in their operations and management. This makes it difficult for members to hold their leaders accountable and can lead to corrupt and abuse of power. Limited access to capital. Cooperatives often struggle to raise capital due to limited access to financial institutions and a lack of collateral. This makes it difficult for them to invest in new projects and expand their operations. Then political interference. Many cooperatives in India are influenced by political parties which can undermine their autonomy and lead to corruption, because you know there is cooperative election, so elections normally should be among the members, but politically it is right now there is political interference in this at times affect the independence of the cooperatives, but steps should be taken to check it. Okay. Inadequate training and education. Many members and leaders of cooperative lack the necessary training and education to manage their organization effectively. This can lead to mismanagement and lack of accountability. The conclusion can be said, addressing these challenges will require significant reforms in the legal and regulatory framework for cooperatives, as well as effort to improve transparency and accountability. Additionally, providing better access to capital and training and education for cooperative members and leaders can help to promote their success and sustainability. Because cooperative can play a very proactive role. They have played earlier and also can play in future. Because especially in the rural area, cooperative are the only hope and only support mechanism for the poor farmers, poor traders, poor artisans. Okay, and this cooperative can make them feel that this is our own, and we can do through this get fulfill all our needs through this cooperative support. Fine. In the following statement, we refer to legal same-sex marriage across the world. South Africa is the only African country which legalized the same-sex marriage. It is correct. Okay. Taiwan is the only Asian country which legalized the same. It is also correct. Finland is the first country in the world which recognize it legally. Coming to same-sex marriage. Okay. So the first country to recognize it is Netherlands, not Finland. Netherlands is the first country, so 3 is incorrect, 1 and 2 are correct, answer is J, because not Finland, Netherlands, the first country to recognize same-sex marriage. With reference to ULPIN, Unified Land Parcel Identification Project, this is the following statement. ULPIN is a part of the Digital India Land Record Modernization Program, which aims to modernize land records in India through the use of technology. That is correct. It assign a unique 14-digit alphanumeric code to each land parcel. That is also correct. Both 1 and 2 are correct. With consider the following statement regard to Swamitwa scheme. The aim of this scheme is to update rural land records, providing a record of rights to village households and issue property cards. Okay, Swamitwa. That is correct. Okay. Swamitwa is a central scheme of the Ministry of Panchayat Raj and Rural Development. Correct. The scheme is being implemented across the country in a phased manner over the period of 6 years. This is incorrect. Only 1 and 2 are correct. GS Nirnaya, a mobile application recently launched by which of the following ministry? It has been launched by Ministry of Panchayat Raj. Okay. That's the following statement. The Ministry of Culture, in collaboration, International Buddhist Conference, hosted the Global Buddhist Summit. Will host the summit in 2023 this year. Right? International Buddhist Conference headquartered in Bhutan. No. The theme of this Global Buddhist Summit is response to contemporary challenges, philosophy and praxis. It's correct. 1 and 3 are correct. So option will be 1 and 3 means C. With reference to in space, the private space agency created by the government to facilitate private space participation. It is formed following the space sector reforms to enable the facility and participation of the private sector. That is right. The agency act as an interface between ISRO and the non-governmental entities. Right. In-Space Association works under the administrative control of the in-space. It is incorrect. Only 1 and 2 are correct. Consider the following statement reference to Mining and Mineral Development Regulation Act 1948. Indian Bureau of Mines were established under this particular act. This is not correct. Right. So under the act, state government are empowered to make rules for preventing illegal mining, transportation and storage of minerals. Right. It is responsible for the state government. It is responsible to the state government to establish the correct grade of mineral being dispatch and change action premium, royalty and other payment on the correct grade of minerals. So both and 1 and 2 and 3 are correct. The question is which is incorrect. Incorrect is 1. Okay. So answer will be A. Then a national conference called the Srijan. Upon mentioned news related to which of the following? Srijan is related to female infertility. Juba portal. Juba portal developed by Minister of Science and Technology. Answer is D. Then consider the following statement about the Lord Port. The Port Authority act as a regulatory body while the operations on the port are carried out by the private companies. That is correct. So Jawaharlal Nehru Port of Mumbai is the first 100% landed major port. It is also correct. So both 1 and 2 are correct for question number 10. This way we are ending your today's session. Keep watching regularly to update yourself on a regular basis.
सर आईएसएफटी 23 हम लोग स्टोर का सर 23 को पुस्तक नहीं है हां हां 23 को पुस्तक नहीं है लेकिन देखिए आज बुझो सॉल्यूशन है बस
आज कर दो पर आउट क्वेश्चन सरला ଗୋଟେ ମିନିଟ
नाश्ता ना सकाळे जस्ट के आपको सारा नौकरी लगा असली पड़ेगा ना तुम डाकला में पड़ेगा
से सोमनाथ सर को कथा टी देखो जैसे
सोमनाथ तू सुनी तम सुनी लगा है हार भी तक वाली कर लेंगे क्यों तो बूढ़ी हिसाब से चलेगा ना
ହେଇଥିଲା କଥା